Okay, and now I would like to say, well, I can believe that it would be the last video about Tulsi Gabbard. Well, it would be the last live of Tulsi Gabbard and the last live in the topic of Tulsi Gabbard homeschooling. Okay. Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are well. I am Michael Cesar De Santa and welcome to our channel Sheikh Afghan Jelebi Michael Cesar De Santa. And now we know that it is part 3 of the to expose the probable dark secret of Tulsi Gabbard homeschooling. Well, just 2 minutes. Well, now today we are talking about uh, uh, well, now today we are talking about biological homeschooling. Okay, now you can see the what would be the probable dark secret of biology class of Tulsi Gabbard, that she would accept homeschooling for that. Let me see. Okay. As we know that Tulsi Gabbard start to study on what? Well, Tulsi Gabbard start on study uh, at 1986, when she would be capable to study as class 1 students. Okay. And now in as a 2003, she joined a military army academy, and perhaps she joined. Okay, now I have forgotten some things. Salam Habibi, how are you? Okay. Well, now it is getting well for us. Okay. But now we can see here is the points. Okay. Appreciate your commentary. Well, it is light, but I don't like it light. Okay. Oh, Nahid. Your comment is very beautiful, and I would like to respond your comment. Okay. Now, Muhammad Nahid, I have response. Well, now I have response Muhammad Nahid comments. Well, now here we can see that. Well, just a moment. I have to go to points. Okay, here is early life of education. We can see that. Oh, Muhammad Nahid. I can respond to you. Okay. Now I have response. Okay. Well, Tulsi. Okay. Here is the points. What is well? Tulsi Gabbard was raised in Hawaii during her early years. Tulsi Gabbard's parents own a vegetarian restaurant, the Neutral Deli, Molede, Hawaii. Tulsi Gabbard's childhood, including suffering, martial arts, and yoga, she was mostly homeschooled except for 2 years at the girls' school at Philippines. Gabbard turn spiritual principles such as karma. Okay. From the ancient Indian text Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Now we can see that Tulsi Gabbard. Okay. Here is just 2 minutes. Well, now surprisingly, every comment is beautiful. Well, okay. Uh, Tulsi Gabbard born in 1981. Hence, in the calendar of 2003, in April 13, probably Tulsi Gabbard age would be almost 23 years or 22 years complete, and 23 years would be ongoing. Okay. And now here we can see Tulsi Gabbard join Hawaii Army National Guard. Tulsi Gabbard joined. Okay. And in almost 2007, Tulsi Gabbard complete Alabama Military Academies. Well, now you can see 2000 from 1987 to 2001. Here is most well. Actually, from 1981 to 2001, in 20 years, Tulsi Gabbard is mostly homeschooling. Well, now we would like to talk what is homeschooling in the biology class. Well, as you can see, I am a weak women students at a biology class of our science streams, but in the points I get only 60% marks in, that means 130 marks out of 200 in our biology course in school life and college life. Okay, here is our points. And in biology course, my favorite chapter is genetics. Well, now here would I say that as a perception of biology, particularly a perception of genetics, well, a perception on, as a perception on biology. Now let me see what is homeschooling and why homeschooling is needed in before 1950 and after 1950. Well, what is before 1950? Okay. Particularly, I would like to say what is why homeschooling was necessity before the FIFA World Cup England in England, and why homeschool is being irrelevant after the FIFA World Cup in England. Okay, let's get started. Well, before the FIFA World Cup in England, I would like to say, well, mostly homeschooling was a necessity, because in accordance with homeschooling, we could have a greatest biologist in the world. Well, and one of them is Charles Darwin. Well, whether Charles Darwin is a biologically homeschooled student, as I believe, because in the curriculum of biology. Well, in in the period of Charles Darwin, here was a curriculum of biology in university bachelor's levels and master's levels. And now today that is the curriculum of biology, that is as class 9 in Bangladesh and perhaps class 3 in United States of America. Okay. And to have an there we can have some doubts that could not be solved in that could not be solved in regular biological class in regular schools because of the lack of because of the lack of timing. And you can know that in the points, even in Bangladesh, we can see as we are students, there was 1 hour class. There was 1 hour class in our schools. In our as I am a student, there was mostly 40 minutes class was in our school. In my school where I have studied in my period. There was some doubts about the biological class. We could not solve solve our doubt because the lack of our timings. Because in 30 minutes, teacher tries his biological teacher try his best to teach us, but sometimes as we have some doubts. For each chapter we have 10 doubts where that could not covered in a particular class. Because each doubt contains an answer with a timing of 20 minutes. And now as a 10 days, that would be only mostly 3 hours, 3 hours 20 minutes. Okay, and here is the points. Separately solving our doubts, we need a tutor schooling. We need a tutor schooling to separately solve our doubts. In genetically, we can say that how my doubt was in genetic class. My doubt was how can a woman be a biological father when she weds another woman. Here was our doubts. For these doubts contain a separate lecture class for 2 hours. Now you say what would be that once? Before 16 years and before the FIFA World Cup England period calendar, here was some doubts, and we can have the students are brilliant, but they could not solve their doubts because the lack of timing. Here was the problems. In that times, tutor schooling was not possible. Therefore, they need homeschooling. That is was clear. But now, after the FIFA World Cup of England, well, 1967, here was a chance. Well, the best biological teachers are available in a regular school. Well, in the best biological, we can have a best biological teachers. We can, okay, we can have a best biological school. He can explain us in 20 minutes as we in the points our doubt is clear. Well, in 20 minutes they have lectured their doubt topics, and the last 20 minutes when we have a doubts, well, we can write all our doubts to our and submit to our teachers, and the best biological teachers can explain every doubt with a simple language. I mean, every doubt with a summary. Well, and he provides some notes in this as a described. That was only of our doubts. What was our doubts? Here is the complete details of the answers. Well, we can read it, and then we learn the points. And some days, some of our friends became bioengineers, some of our friends became doctors, and some of our friends became forensic officers of police stations and army stations and the intelligence stations. Well, now we can say in 1981, that was the era while every forensic officer of the Central Intelligence Agency was a student of regular school where they had a best biological teacher in their regular school. Well, 1981, that was the era. Okay. Now I have told the history of biological teachers, but now I would like to say when biology class needs a homeschooling. Here is the questions. Okay. As in in 4 lives, previous 3 lives and today's lives, we know that today's life is biology class. Okay. Today's life was biology class, and we know that every biology class is as we have a necessity. Okay. Well, now here as a military service options, Tulsi Gabbard has said that she is deployed in Iraq as a medical officer from the Hawaii Army National Guard. Okay, Hawaii Army National Guard as a medical specialist. Okay, that means she was deployed in Iraq as a forensic officer. Oh. And now that means she study in would study class 9 at science streams. But here was a problem. So the problem is the last 3 lines I have to explain that how Tulsi Gabbard can be class 3 fellow students in the homeschooling, here would be the point. Now let me tell you why homeschooling is a necessity in biology class. Okay. Uh, well, after 1950, well, homeschooling in biology is necessary when your score is below 20% marks of the biology exam. And for a demonstration, I would like to say that here would be the points. As a well, in 200 marks of biology exam, 180 in American schools, 180 marks is a passing marks. Okay. Well, you are failed if you score 175 out of 200. Then you cannot be promoted to next class in your school, but still you can study in your school. Okay. 150, if you score 155 marks out of 200 marks in biology exam, okay, you are failed, but you can study in your school, regular school, American regular school. Well, even if your score is 125 out of 200 marks in biology exam, you cannot be promoted to next class, but still you can study in your current class as a biological school in American regular school. Okay. If your score is 85 marks out of 200, well, it is good. You cannot, although you cannot be promoted, but you can still study in American regular school. Okay, well, if your score is 25 marks out of 200 marks in a biology exam of American regular school, and now it is an alarming mood that perhaps you have to be homeschooled. Okay. And if your score is 11 marks out of 200, it is clear that none of American regular school biological teacher has any energy to effort on you. Still, you have a clear-cut homeschool. Here's the points. And now we can say how homeschooling is bad for minute by minutes. Well, we know that what is the system of homeschooling? Well, homeschooling system is conducted by parents, tutor, and online teachers. Okay. Now here we can say, okay, I have 1 minute to off our AC. Okay. Well, now we can study 1 hour. Well, in 1981, Bill Clinton introduced internet for citizen individuals of the United States of America. But still, before 2005, there was no social media. Well, there was only an what websites like now we can see here is um, there was a web URL like a website well CIA, MI6, well Mossad, RNAW, well NASA, ISRO, the uh, United States website, national websites, Israel national websites. There was this type of web URL. That is websites. Okay. Now, if you have to search about your biological doubt, well, you have to search it on Yahoo. Well, in Web 1 system, there was no social media, and that time Yahoo was the search engine, king of the search engine. Well, everything you have to search on Yahoo. Here was the best points. And still, it is hard to say that it was accessible only and only by computer genius. Well, it was accessible by hackers. It was accessible by computer engineers, and it was accessible by only by an officials like the company officials and some school teachers, college teachers, and university teachers. Well, still, student can use the individual computer, but only in the class of school, class of college, and class of university. Here was the circumstance before 1993 to 2005. Okay. And nowadays, well, Tulsi Gabbard start her study in 1986 or 1987 as class 1 students. Now we can see for 1987 to 1993, well, there was only one type of internet, and that was military internet of United States of America. Well, Tulsi Gabbard has no individual computers because the computer was only for the military purpose in 1987 to 1993. It was only the purpose of military purpose. Well, now in the point, still American men have only 10 friends who live in Bangladesh, or Bangladesh have only 10 friends to live in Australia in that times. Is it for civil citizens? But for American military citizens, well, with the internet, American military citizens was only person who can have an internet to communicate each other, while military captains are in Afghanistan and communicate with New York. The internet facilities was only for militaries. Okay, now I have repeated 4 times. Okay, after all, in 1987 to 1993, Well, as a teaching human person, Tulsi Gabbard homeschooling was contacted only by her father, Michael Gabbard, and her biological tutor. That means tutor of biology course. Okay. And now this time uh, homeschooling was just necessary in that time only because of sometimes of tougher student in biology course who attend the exam well below 20 marks out of 200 marks in biological exams. Uh, here was the points. Well, now and here, well, perhaps Tulsi Gabbard has a biology course, tutor of biology course in her homeschooling. Well, now I have seen in the last three lives that there are no fixed period in one class in homeschooling. Well, for as a Charles Darwin, well, you can complete a syllabus of class 10, syllabus of class 6 in biology in the calendar of 2008 month January. Well, you can complete the entire syllabus of class 7 biology course in February month calendar of 2008. You can complete class 8 biology course in March month 2008. You can complete a biology course in April month of 2008. You can complete biology course of class 10 syllabus of class 10 biology course in April month last 10 days calendar 2008. That means for Charles Darwin with the help of homeschooling. Yeah. Okay. Well, at the class of homeschooling, it is that we can have a confidence that for Charles Darwin, there was a confidence of probable probability that a boy can complete his course, well, biology course of 5 class from class 6 to class 10 in January month to the calendar 2008. But what about Tulsi Gabbard? Well, Tulsi Gabbard is a girl student, and for girl students, here homeschooling has a con. The con is that a girl student can stuck in syllabus of class 6 biology for 20 years or perhaps 1 years or 52 years. Well, that was the con of biology. And here we can have a probable dark secrets. Well, as a probable dark secrets, let me tell you that what is the artificial sperm and natural ovum? Well, as a, now we can say as a straight gender marriage. Well, that means I know I mean. What is the meaning of straight gender marriage? Straight gender marriage is an acceptable marriage between bride and groom. Well, you know, groom is always gender of groom is always man, and bride gender of bride is always woman. You can say that. Well, we know the here the gender of brides. Well, here is the meaning that a man can marry a woman with a woman, and women can marry with a man. Here is the points. Here is the definition of straight gender marriage. Okay, and now in the straight gender marriage, when wedding couple became parent couple, man has always a natural sperm and women has always a natural ovum. Now you have to say that why I am talking about natural sperm and natural ovum, because we are exposing the probable dark secret of Tulsi Gabbard biological homeschooling. Here are the points. Okay. Well, as a Tulsi Gabbard biological homes, as Tulsi Gabbard biological homeschooling, here was a point we can know it. Okay. Now I would like to say, okay, nice to see you, and you would like to see. Okay, I would call you letters. Well, I understand. I don't understand the emoji, but it is of the laugh. We know, but I'll check the emojis letters. Okay, now tell me. Let me have a points. Okay. Now here we can see. Oh well. Now, but what if we can have a gay marriage or we can have a lesbian marriage? Here is the point. After lesbian marriage is that women can marry with a woman. Well, in the case of wedding couple, lesbian wedding couple, when lesbian wedding couple became the lesbian parent couple, well, a woman contains always her artificial sperm, and second woman is always having a natural ovum, because natural ovum is the points of women. Well, in the same case as a gay marriage, the definition of gay marriage is simple. A man can marry with a man. Well, as a simplicity of gay marriage, we can say, well, when the gay wedding couple become the gay parent couple, well, one man has a natural sperm, but other second man should have his artificial ovum of his points. Well, his artificial ovum of his DNA. And here is the points. And now here we can say that is the biological school. Okay. Now, now I would talk to about what is the result of biological homeschool of Tulsi Gabbard. Well, now we can say what was the effect of Tulsi Gabbard biological homeschool. Now let's get checked. Okay, now, well, now if I would like to say, let's have a set. Okay. Now here is Alhamdulillah, we are going on 40 minutes. Well, now we have 2 points. Okay. Well, now we can see here is the points. Well, as a military service in April 2003, while serving the Hawaii State Legislature, Gabbard enlisted in the Hawaii Army National Guard in July 2004. She was deployed in the 12th month tour in Iraq as a serving as a specialist with Medical Company 29th Support Battalion 29th Infantry Brigade Combat Team of Hawaii Army National Guard in Iraq. Gabbard served as a logistical support area Anaconda, completing her tour in 2005. Because of deployment, she chose not campaign of re-election of state legislator. Gabbard received a combat medical badge in 2005 for the participation in combat operation under enemy hostile fire in support Operation Iraqi Freedom 3. Well, she has been awarded the Military Service Medal from United States. She also the important information is that in July 2004, Tulsi Gabbard, a soldier of Hawaii Army National Guard, was deployed in a 12-month tour in Iraq service as a specialist with a medical company. That means we can say her as a part of forensic officers, we can say. Okay. Now here we can say that means she proclaimed herself to be based in biology. Okay. Now here we can say here is the domestic for policy positions. Well, now let's ignore drugs policy, next ignore environment. Okay. Well, now we can see if we can talk with environment. Well, here's the points. Okay. Well, we can say as points. Now let me see. Here will be the another points. Now let's see what is about her LGBT rights. Well, LGBTQ rights. Gabbard views on LGBTQ rights have changed over the years, as evidenced by her 2003 signing out the ambassador's brief supporting gay marriage. While in her early years, she was associated with her father's campaign opposing gay marriage. In 1998, when she was 17 years old, Gabbard supported her father's successful campaign to amend the Constitution of Hawaii to give a lawmaker the power to reserve marriage to opposite sex couple. She also favored a federal marriage amendment then that would prevent overriding state's law with regards the same-sex marriage. Okay. In 2012, Gabbard apologized for her anti-gay advocacy. Now here is our turning points. Well, she well in the marriage environment, Tulsi Gabbard stands as an anti-gay. That means anti-homosexual in marriage. She was we can say she was a toxic homophobic. But now let me see what was the points. Well, now here we can see the dark secret of Tulsi Gabbard as a biological homeschooling. Now here we can understand that why Tulsi Gabbard is a homeschooled student in the biology class. Now here's the answer. Do you accept gay marriage between Robert Downey Jr. and Henry Cavill? Well, now let's see what is the answer of Tulsi Gabbard. Robert Downey Jr. should marry me in lieu of Henry Cavill because I am a woman. Okay. Now that means here is Robert Downey Jr. and here is Tulsi Gabbard. Now her stand is that Robert Downey Jr. should marry Tulsi Gabbard because Tulsi Gabbard is a woman and Robert Downey Jr. is a man. And in 1998, okay, here her advocacy is against homosexual marriage. Well, here it is mentioned as she is an hardcore or toxic homophobic for against a homosexual man. Okay. And now here is the points that we see. Now let's have a demonstration of gay marriage between Robert Downey Jr. and Henry Cavill. You know, here is two handsome men. Well, male father is Henry Cavill, natural sperm, and male mother is Robert Downey Jr. He contains artificial ovum. Okay. Now their son is Mahat Mongol. Okay, we can say that is Y sperm. Our daughter Alia Sheikh, well, Henry Cavill X sperms. Okay, that is my that is my fault that I have mistakes in that. Well, she is a daughter and he is a son. Here we can have a good parts. Now, what if we have to follow Tulsi Gabbard? Okay. Now, what if okay. Now, what? Let's have a control 0. Okay. Now, what if we have followed the Tulsi Gabbard? Here we can have a control J. Okay, now and now we are removing daughters because it was out of syllabus, as we know. Well, now here we can say placing the decoration of sons informations, and now here we can say Well, now we can replace Handicable by Gal Gadot. Okay, now here, now I am trying to explain what is Tulsi Gabbard's marriage systems. Okay, now here is we can say that is the Tulsi Gabbard marriage systems. Okay, it is clear. But now she could be bent with the points. And now let's have a stroke. But her stroke is would be pink colored. Okay. Well, now here is the points. Uh, well, mother. Okay. Mother. Here we'd be saying. Now I have just 2 minutes. Now let me relax in 2 minutes because it is 51 days. Now get out. Okay. Now who is the father? Father, here is Robert Downey Jr. Okay. And here is points. We can say I am having any relaxable points. We need a relaxer, but now we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Well, here we can say merge layer. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now here we can say, oh, now we can have a convert to smart object. Well, now it's okay for it. Okay. But now we can have the points. Okay. Here we can have a clear. Well, and now here is same as a biological homeschooling. Well, here is the case of gay marriage between Robert Downey Jr. and Henry Cavill. Well, the answer of Tulsi Gabbard on the topic of Robert Downey Jr. is shocking. The answer was that Robert Downey Jr. should marry me in lieu of Henry Cavill because I am a woman. That means indirectly Tulsi Gabbard indicates that Robert Downey Jr. Okay. Well, Robert Downey Jr. Should marry a woman as a straight gender marriage. And here is the problems. Okay. Now we can say here is the problem and let me solve it. Well, straight and gender straight gender marriage. Okay. Now we can have the points. Well. Now, here is we can have Control J. Okay. Now here I can sort out the problems, and there. Well, here I can have a merge layer, and then I can have a converted to smart object. Okay. And now we can say, well, here is an idiot offset is containing here. Okay. Well, here would be the points, and now, okay. Well, here is a gay marriage between Robert Downey Jr. and Henry Cavill. Male father is Henry Cavill, natural sperm, and male mother is Robert Downey Jr., artificial ovum. Both of them are happy, and there has a son, Mohat Mongols, and daughters, Alia Sheikh. And now, let me see what is the suggestion of Tulsi Gabbard about Robert Downey Jr. Okay? Here, Tulsi Gabbard. Here is the points. Okay. Gal. Now let me have the points. Here we can have a relax. As we can have relax, girl. Yeah, no. Okay. Okay, now we can see Control Z and much lower. Well, offset. It can convert smart offset. Okay. Well, now we can say here is difference. Well, now let's see what would be the happens and what would occur. Well, okay. Well, and we can now see here is a gay marriage between Robert Downey Jr. and Henry Cavill. Both of them are happy, but now let's see what is the advice of Tulsi Gabbard about Robert Downey Jr. Tulsi Gabbard believed that Robert Downey Jr. should marry Gal Gadot to have a son like a Mohat Mongol. Okay. Well, in here is the biology. Henry Cavill could contain a natural sperm, and Robert Downey Jr. could contain artificial ovum. But according with Tulsi Gabbard, every person should have their natural ovum and natural sperm. That means Robert Downey Jr. should marry Gal Gadot as a suggestion of Tulsi Gabbard. Here was a point. Well, Well, here we can see, and now, well, just 2 minutes, and we can have a slot out the points. Uh, okay. Well, I would like to say that here we can see Tulsi. Well, we can say that Tulsi Gabbard was a tougher student as a biological homeschooling. But here is an irony that in 1998, Tulsi Gabbard is an activist of anti-homosexual movement in 1983, and even 2012 she apologized because of she was standing against the homosexual man advocacy. She was standing like that. Even in 1998, well, what in the age of 17, Tulsi Gabbard has an advice that every man should marry a woman and every woman should marry a man. Here is the advice of Tulsi Gabbard. And now, as our research on sociology and sociology and physics, as our research on the life, we can say that Tulsi Gabbard was a student of class 3 homeschooling in the period of 1989 to 2001. Okay, that means in 1998, well, while civil individual computer was introduced in every corner of the United States of America, even it was introduced in corner in every largest city of India, including Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata and Delhi, and even it is introduced in the Bangladesh, a poorest country of the world. In that times, it was introduced. Well, we could see every articles of homosexual parent couple that we can say gay mother or lesbian father. We can notice that what was the points. Yeah. Well, accordance with just a website. It was the form of website, but in that time she was still studying in class 3 homeschooling for 9 years, and still she was against the homosexual wedding, and she advised that Robert Downey Jr. should marry Gal Gadot in lieu of Henry Cavill, because both of Henry Cavill and Robert Downey Jr. is a man and Gal Gadot is a woman. Well, here is the point, but here is an irony we can see. And what is the irony? Let me check. The irony was that the Tulsi Gabbard was deployed in Iraq in the calendar of 2004 for 12 hours as an especially as a forensic specialist in of the Hawaii Army National Guard. Well, hard. And with the just imagine, in 2004, Tulsi Gabbard is a forensic specialist deployed in Iraq in behalf of Hawaii Army National Guard. Hawaii is a provincial state of the United States of America. Now, well, for a forensic work, Tulsi Gabbard got an American Combat Medals health. While in 1998, well, Tulsi Gabbard stands against homosexual marriage, and the irony is that, well, after 5 years later, Tulsi Gabbard joined Hawaii Army National Guard. Well, 10 years later, it was 10 years to be passed when Tulsi Gabbard was standing against homosexual marriage in 1998, but Tulsi Gabbard is but still Tulsi Gabbard is United States part of a soldiers of United States Army, and in that part from 2008 to 2009, she was a United States Army police officer in deployed in Kuwait and get rewarded of by Kuwait National Guards. She was awarded, and now we can understand what would it be go. Okay, and now let me have. There is only 5 minutes that I have to of our lives, and still we can say that Tulsi Gabbard, well, as in homeschooling, Tulsi Gabbard stand against homosexual marriage in 1998, and the irony is that she was awarded by Kuwaiti National Guard as an United States Army military police officers deployed in Kuwait. And between the two events, 11 years have been passed. Okay. Well, and now you can see that you can be a neutral person. You just don't like homosexual couples. Here is only your opinion. But if you are an anti-homosexual activist, well, you cannot have a right to have any governmental job. Even that governmental job would be a designation of peon. But what about Tulsi Gabbard? Well, the process of biological homeschooling, Tulsi Gabbard stands against homosexual marriage in 1998, and the irony is that 5 years later, Tulsi Gabbard is enlisted in Hawaii Army National Guard. 2007, she is enlisted as an United States military officers. Well, military officers. 2009, she was awarded by Kuwaiti National Guards. Also, in 2015, October 9, October 12, Tulsi Gabbard promoted from captain to major, and in the well, it was the calendar of 2021, while President is Joe Biden and Vice President is Kamala Harris, and in Independence Day, the homophobic woman Tulsi Gabbard became National Lieutenant Colonel, and now the largest irony is that in the presidency of Donald Trump and vice presidency of J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard has been National Intelligence Director of the United States of America, where the problem, she is a homophobic still. Well, she do not support any homosexual events. She do not support. Well, I do not support any woke homosexuality, because woke homosexuality, woke lesbian is that they just show their flag, flag of LGBT. They do not have any professions. They do not have any skills. They do not have any educations. While the real homosexual persons was different from the woke homosexual persons. Well, our real homosexual persons was, here is the presidency of Alan Turing. Without Alan Turing, well, perhaps the Android mobile phone would not be exist, because then we would like to have only Alexander Graham Bell era telephones. We would have. Okay, here is the point. Here is the point. Well, here is the first level of irony. Well, I mean, here is the first dimension of irony. And now I would like to say, what is the second dimension of irony? Well, you can see this. Well, now I would like to sit on tables. Well, perhaps it was the last minutes that we have a communication with you, because I don't know because I don't know that when we have lost our internet because of the lack of electricity, we don't know. Okay. Well, here we can see it as our points. Okay. And now here will be the points. Well, now you can see here it is Microsoft Bing. If you have your own search engine you used, you can search this that did Tulsi Gabbard has any children. You could have an answers. Okay. Now here is the celebrities. Okay. Here is disabled. And now here is question answers about celebrities. Of course, Tulsi Gabbard is a political celebrity. Well, now here is the question: does Gabbard have children? Well, the answer is Tulsi Gabbard does not have children. She has openly shared that her experience with vitro fertilization during on appearance of Meghan Markle podcast in mid 2024, reflecting on the emotion toll of IBP